Well, hello everybody. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting on the Jobu Sports Report, as well as my day job here. And this is the third video on this. You know, I like being creative, and with these three videos, you're kind of seeing inside my mind of trying to be creative. We've done all kinds of different things and stuff. In fact, here, let me show you some of the things that we've done. Everything we've done basically has come from this head. We started out by making these headphone racks, two-faced and all that, so you can put your headphones, two of them on there, and store them. And that evolved into our Joe Bardies. You can see we have Dallas Cowboy colors here on that one. Over here we have, this will be a Washington one for Brian, our resident Washington fan. But I also have a Tampa Bay's lace rack and stuff, and you can see how we're coming up and being able to do these things. And I try to figure out different things that we can make and create. So, keeping in mind that I work on making things for man caves, this is the next thing, is to actually make a few pieces. I ended up building a TV stand for my friend Richard in Steelers colors, and I thought about trying to make like a coffee table and end table set, so that way, you know, if you've got a man cave and you want it to look like a man cave, these are the things. So I've taken the football design, which started out from originally the racks, which became then the Joe Bardies, as well as the headphone sets, to now um, making it into furniture pieces. So the first two videos you saw how I came up with the idea and actually putting it to use. Now we're going to actually try and put this together. So this is the first time. So if it fails, it fails. If it's great, it's great. I don't know how it's going to work out, but we're going to try it. So the tabletop for this one is actually wood. The other one that I'm working on now, I've actually got a glass top, but we're going to look and see how it looks with both of them. So the base, of course, is black. And what we've done is we've actually drilled some holes in the bottom to put some extra screws in here for extra support on that to lock it in place. Not that it's not already tight, but we're going to put a little bit of glue. Just going to make sure we don't put too much in there that with the top that it runs down, because we don't want the glue marks to be on the piece. Now, one thing I've learned thus far in building this is when I do my mortise, I need to leave just a little bit more play in it, because by the time you put the paint on it, it ends up being really, really snug. So, say a prayer. Actually, looks like I'm a little bit off on it. Okay. The paint swells the wood too. One other thing I always end up doing too is sometimes I make things too exact. To the point where it's a little too hard to go together. So we're close, but we're not completely there. I'm going to use, try and convince it. figures. Need a little oil on the clamp here. No pressure. Don't want to scratch it, so I'm trying to be real careful here. I think what I'm going to need to do is leave just a little bit more room for play in it. See, this is where it's a learning process. Tell you one thing, sucker is tight. Okay, it's in there. Okay. Now, one tip for you, when you have screws, if you actually put a little soap on them, it'll help stop that squeaking. Helps slide it into the wood. All right, so we got the base on. This is the very first time ever, ever, it stood up. All right, so now, squeezed out a little bit of glue. Let's get a rag and wipe that off. All right, what do you think so far? Okay, so now for the top support. So what I've just learned is, in the future, we'll need to allow for a little bit more space because the wood will swell because of the paint and things. And see, I made this almost too exact. I tapered this so that way it'll slide together, but in the end, the screws would end up being enough to help hold it just right. And I'm also working on figuring out how to make this so you guys would be able to put that together at your house. But I tell you what, that sucker is tight. This is not IKEA furniture where it's going to fall apart on you. Getting close, guys. Grab some more screws. Now this is the basis for okay. All right, so that is the basis for this. Now, if we're going to make it just the Cowboys table, then we put screws underneath of it. That is it. Look at that. Ah. But wait. The thing I have to do here is I'll need to actually sand, fill in the holes where I put the screws in here, and sand that and paint it gray, because here's the other part of the equation. Bam. So what you'd have is a glass topped table. So here's what you'd be able to see. Look at the beveled edge on here, and this would end up being gray so you could see down through it. Actually, no, I messed up. This one has to be for the blue top, because what I would do differently is this would be blue. So you have Cowboys blue, the gray football, or a two-face football, and you would see all of that. So that's what I'll do for the other one. This one will be strictly just the blue top. But you can see that's kind of a neat looking table right there. I'm actually rather proud of this, to be quite honest. All right, so we're going to screw the top on this one, and the second one will end up being the glass one. And like I said, I've learned a couple of things. Don't make this so tight. But look at that, smoked glass. Oh, I love this. I've just learned a couple of things, because again, this is a first time building this. This is the very first one. And so it's always a learning process when you're making something new. So a couple things I've now learned is don't make the damn thing so tight. Give yourself a little extra space in it leave yourself a little extra space on it, so that way it won't be so hard to put together, especially if I'm going to be sending it to be assembled. Although, I think I figured out how I wouldn't have to do that. Just learned another thing too. Don't put your screw holes in so close, because when you put it together, you've got that. So, as you can see, I'm not perfect. Okay, so well, now you've seen all my secrets. And you've now seen the very first one of these to be made. All right, so this is your chance to give me your comments on what do you think. Is it a winner? Is it a keeper? Or is it just too much for a man cave? And if you have some ideas of some things that you'd like me to make here in the workshop, well, leave a comment below or email me at cowboysmark94@gmail.com, so that way we can try it. I'll see you soon.